Good evening and welcome to the RR News Network. It is currently 17:33, this May 17th, 1861. These past couple days have been very eventful. At first, we'll bring to you Jenna White, who will be interviewing the founder of the Canadian Party, John Schultz.
Thank you, Lisa LaFlamme. We have a very important person with us tonight, John Schultz. Thanks for coming tonight, Mr. Schultz.
Thank you for having me.
We all know you're the founder of the Canadian Party. What made you organize this group?
Well, back in 1860, I was one of the first immigrants to arrive here. I originally came here to get my medical degree, but after a while, I found I had no interest in practicing medicine.
Whoa, hold up. You wanted to practice medicine when you came here? This group has nothing to do with medicine. Far from it.
Yes, I know. I decided to open up a general store. As I did that, I took over the only newspaper, Nor'Western. That's when I got a few Canadians interested in disturbing the Métis. So late in 1860s, I finally made the Canadian Party, which was anti-Métis. I then used my newspaper to post anti-Métis views.
Wow, what a story! I saw some posts that you put in your newspaper. Don't you think that was a little harsh to say about the Métis?
Not at all. I truly believe that they shouldn't have been in the country. I mean, all their culture traditions are really hard on the non-Métis.
Well, here's another one from the article. Now, how about that? That was really putting them down.
Yes, it may have been a little bit unfair, but I still believe it's true. Because of how things were going, it didn't seem like they were going downhill.
Well, everyone is free to have their own opinion. And that's all the time we have for this interview. We'll be back after this short break, so don't go away.
Do you have trouble when it comes to farming? Does it hurt your back to bend down and pick up a bucket or a small item? Well, we've got a thing for you. Now with these new straps, you don't even need to bend down. They just go around your shoulders like this, and you pull up the strings and watch your item come to you. No more bending over and no more back pain. You can pick up your new farmer's tool if you send your pigeons down.
Good evening and welcome back to the RR News Network. I'm Lisa LaFlamme and it is currently 17:50, and we're off to David Culture for sports. David?
Last night, Aggravates creamed the Crawlers at cricket. Frederick All-Nighter really brought it home on his final shot. It was a sad day for the Crawlers all-star play Jonathan Jamo Jr., who had a downfall last night. In other news, Riley Blazer had an embarrassing moment a few days ago. While swinging his pallet, he swung too hard and ripped his pants. Well, that's embarrassing. Back to you, Lisa.
Sorry to hear about that, Riley. I'm sure that red face will go down soon. Now off to Mike Roberts for the weather.
Tough luck, Riley. Well, you better stay indoors this week. The forecast is windy and rainy around most of Rupert's Land, but it will be hot in Manitoba. Time to take a trip to Manitoba and get a tan. Back to you, Lisa.
There's been some talk about John A. Macdonald and Darcy are thinking about having Canada rule itself and having Canada stretch from sea to sea. Here's to Krista Bell, who's on scene. Crystal?
I'm standing here in front of John A. Macdonald, who is explaining his and Darcy's plan at extending Canada and making Northwest territories.
We will hopefully be buying Rupert's Land from the Hudson Bay Company. We have been negotiating with them, and it's looking good for us.
It's sad to say that not everyone agrees with the decisions being made.
I am very angered about this. Nobody even bothered to tell us about it.
This is the first time hearing about it. I'm worried that our Métis tradition will be forgotten and it will not support our rights and traditions.
Well, it seems they are very upset about this. I am sitting here with John A. Macdonald. Mr. Macdonald, why didn't you talk to the citizens before you going forward with all this?
Why didn't I talk to them first? Was because I didn't want to start a riot. As well as fact, I don't think they wouldn't know what we were trying to do.
Well, that's the thing. You didn't give them a chance to know about it.
Yes, that was my poor decision in the end, and I will admit that.
What has happened since your public announcements?
Since the public announcements, the HBC has agreed to sell Rupert's Land to us.
And how much did that cost?
HBC received a payment of 1.5 million, 2.8 million hectares of prior farmland and rights to continue the fur trade.
Were you ever nervous of them declining?
Actually, no, I wasn't. I had a feeling all along that they would make the deal.
Well, you heard it from here first. The Hudson Bay Company has sold Rupert's Land to John A. Macdonald. When we return, we'll meet up with Jenna.
Should I be the new governor of Canada? Why should you vote for me? Well, I'll bring you more money and try to allow you to make the most of your decisions. I will respect all Canadians as a person and will not turn any problem. Vote for me May 20th and you will not regret your decision.
As Métis leader.
Yes, that is true. I'm actually a lawyer, and I'm fluent in both English and French.
Wow. Can you say something in French for us?
Je peux aller aux toilettes, s'il vous plaît?
I have no clue what you just said.
Est-ce que je peux aller aux toilettes, s'il vous plaît?
Wow, that is great. So what do you think about William McDougall becoming governor?
Honestly, I'm well against it. I'm worried that he'll completely make all the Métis beliefs disappear.
Why do you say that?
Well, he's all about the Canadians, and I think he'll give the Canadian Party all power, which will make the Métis lose all their rights.
I heard that there will be a day of court for the Métis and Canadian Party. What do you hope comes out of that?
Well, I hope that the Métis will be able to keep their rights and become equal with everyone else, but still be allowed to keep their culture alive.
Well, that sounds reasonable. I wish you best of luck.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me tonight.
Order in the court. Order. Métis against Canadian Party. Representing Métis, Mr. Louis Riel. Representing Canadian Party, Mr. John Schultz. We will be starting the opening statements with John Schultz. Mr. John Schultz.
Thank you, PM. Coming from an all-English background, I strongly believe we need an all-English country. We cannot have all these different cultures running around interfering with our natural English background.
Thank you. Mr. Riel, you are up next.
Thank you, Your Honor. As being a Métis and having my father the leader of this group, it has become my way of life. We as Métis have been completely respectful to everyone, and no matter what, I will stand beside the Métis. Thank you.
Well, that was inspiring. A couple words from William, please.
Thank you. The Métis have been saying that once I become governor, I will forget all about them and their culture, that all I care about are the English. I would like to take the time to say that's not true. I will support everyone.
Mr. Riel, that seems that comment was for you. Is that true?
I do believe that he will forget all about the Métis. That's why I'm proposing the chance to have a provisional government, just so we can maintain order and negotiate an agreement. That is very reasonable. Schultz,
That was very reasonable. Schultz, McDougall, what do you think about that proposal?
It's ridiculous. He's saying that when McDougall will become governor, that things will change for their Métis. But what is he doing now? Changing things for everyone else.
I don't want to start a fight with anyone. This is something we can consider.
No, this is nuts. We're stopping everything for the Métis.
No, you're not. What are you talking about? No.
Order in the court. Thank you. I think we've heard enough from everyone. Let's decide, jury. Jury?
We have come to a conclusion that the Métis will have their own rights and will be sent to Ottawa and be with the French-speaking.
The Métis list of rights in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms states that the judge of the Supreme Court will speak English and French languages.
It also states that we have a fair and full representation in the Canadian Parliament.
As well as that for the term of 4 years in all military, civil, and municipal expenses be paid out of Dominican funds.
A free homestead and preemption land law.
There is word that after McDougall had a breakdown and was saying that his plan was to get rid of the Métis after he was elected governor. We'll be right back after a few short words from our sponsors. Welcome back. After court, Jean Schultz and a few members of the Canadian Party were sent to jail for threatening the Métis. We've just received word that John Schultz and members escaped jail and tried to find Riel. Here's to Sarah DeBoer, who is currently on scene.
I am standing in front of the jailhouse where Schultz and members of the Canadian Party have just escaped. There's been a lockdown since they noticed. And what is this? A cop buggy pulling up? You won't believe it. They have caught John Schultz, a member of the Canadian Party, Thomas Scott.
I'm going to kill you, Louis Riel. If you're watching this, you better watch your back. I'm coming for you.
Louis Riel, you better be watching this. I hope you watch out and be careful. Back to you,
Horrible
Lisa.
to hear. Well, that's all the time we got for tonight. Join us again tomorrow night, and have a great evening.
No more bending over and no more back pain. You can now pick up your new farmer's tool and send your pigeons now.